Hello and welcome to the e-commerce leader series, a podcast dedicated to helping online health. Health. I'm going to start that again. It's 7 p.m. here, so I've had a long day. I'm going to start that again. Right. Welcome to the e-commerce leader series, the podcast dedicated to helping founders and senior leaders navigate the future of online retail with AI. I'm your host, Bryan Kinghorn. I'm head of growth here at Luca AI. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Craig Henderson, the CEO at Extract Labs. So, Craig, thank you very much for being here. Before we dive deep into our conversation, would you mind giving our listeners a brief introduction about yourself, your background, and what Extract Labs does?
Yeah, of course. Again, thank you for having me on here. I founded Extract Labs in 2016 as a hemp or CBD processing company. The goal was to get hemp from farmers, turn it into extract, and sell it to product manufacturers. I quickly realized that there's a lot more money in product manufacturing than there was in just extraction. So from about 2018 until now, that has been our primary focus, making finished, high-quality CBD and other cannabinoid products. I'm a veteran, disabled veteran, went to college. After college is when I got involved in this industry here in Colorado.
Yeah, nice one. And what was the initial driver for starting the business? Like, what was either the gap in the market or a personal reason? What was the reasoning behind starting the business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So after college, I saw this was around 2014. I saw the marijuana industry starting to really come alive out in Colorado, California, Oregon, Washington. And I just thought there might be, a lot of money to be made. I kind of believed in it. I saw what it did for people. I was watching documentaries and seeing how much cannabis helped people. So I found this extraction company. They manufactured equipment out of Ohio, and they wanted to open a location in Colorado, and they hired me. So I spent between 2014 and 2016 teaching people, marijuana companies at the time, how to turn marijuana into oils for, edibles, for vapes. And during that time, it was all THC focused. People were loosely talking about CBD. So I had this idea that, I had a lot of experience in extraction. I had this idea that I could start my own company doing CBD extraction. And to me, it was just going to be a niche. And I thought there'd be a few people like me. I really wasn't a fan of THC. I believed in it, but it didn't react with me very well. So the thought of a non-psychoactive cannabis product to me was very appealing, and apparently to a lot of others, because that small niche quickly grew into a decent sized company.
Yeah, cool. And how does so you've mentioned the product manufacturing side of it. You also sell direct to consumer, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. 80% of our revenue is all through our website, direct to consumers, nationwide, and a little bit of international.
Okay, cool. And are you doing some like retail as well, physical retail or?
We're in about 300 stores throughout the United States, smaller stores, no big name brands as much as I'd like to be in there. But yeah, I saw like about 20% of our revenue is attributed to those stores.
Yeah, cool. Nice one. And how's as the businesses grow, and you said you started in 2016, so you've got 10 years of history as a business. How has it changed over that period? Like what in regards to the products you're making? I know from your website you've got a wide variety of different products now beyond just CBD. So yeah, how has the business changed over that time in regards to what you're offering? And then we'll maybe come on to how it's changed and how you have had to change as the business has grown as well.
Yeah, the business has changed significantly every couple of years, mainly because of regulations, price changes, demand. Like I said, we started off we take farmers' material, turn it into oils, and charge a fee to do that. And that used to be really big money. And then everyone got involved. The price of CBD plummeted. And now there's just not a lot of money in ingredient manufacturing. And that's why we transitioned into product manufacturing. So that was a huge change for us. Regulations have changed over the years of what we can and can't sell. So that always, trips us up. And this coming November, there's a big law change that could potentially put us and all of our competitors out of business. So we're just kind of waiting to see what happens come November.
And what is that, if you don't mind sharing?
So right now, the way the law is written is we're allowed 0.3% THC in our products, which for a small product is a small amount of THC. But for like a bag of gummies, that allows you to have about 5 or 10 milligrams of THC per gummy, which is a decent amount for someone to, feel the effects. The new law is 0.3 milligrams per container. So essentially no THC allowed in any products, which are, our customers like those full spec products. They like the CBD, but they also like it accompanied with a small amount of THC. The new law makes it to where no THC whatsoever, which is about 80% of our products. So some people will make the switch over, but I think a lot of people will just quit buying.
Yeah, and is this a state thing or is that a nationwide thing?
That's a new federal law that was signed last year and is supposed to go into effect this November. There's been a lot of pushback, but as of today, we won't have a business past November. So we're just hoping something changes between now and then.
Okay. Oh God. Well, sorry to hear that. Hopefully something does change. Has that driven some of the decisions to move into some different products as well? Or?
Definitely. So we're trying to, hedge our business a little bit. We've launched a kava line. We just launched a functional mushrooms line, and we're trying to do it different. Just like in CBD, everyone was launching low dose CBD. When we came on the market, it was high dose, high quality, certified organic. That's what we're doing with mushrooms. Today, if you buy mushroom powder, it just says there's mushroom powder in here. It doesn't tell you, is it ground up mushrooms? Is it mushroom extract? What was it when it was extracted? What is the potency? And by potency, I mean beta glucans. So there's a lot of products on the market. They're just ground up mushrooms, whereas we've standardized it, over 80% beta glucans. So you know what you're getting. It's standardized. There's a lab test that goes with it. I don't believe anyone else in the market is selling 80% beta glucan mushroom extract powder, lion's mane, cordyceps, reishi. So I think we've got something different that people will appreciate. And it seems to be doing well for us. It's only been out a couple months.
Yeah, cool. Nice one. Well, hopefully that negates any potential negative impact on everything else. But yeah, I can understand if you're in a difficult spot right now. So yeah, hopefully something does change there. Or you can continue to build a wider supplements business.
That's what we're shooting for. Just trying to be a larger supplement brand and not so much just a CBD company.
And how has the business changed internally? So I'd imagine when you started, it was a very small team, maybe just yourself. I don't know. You can maybe explain a bit of that. And how does it look now?
So when I started, it was just me in my garage. I hired one employee off of Craigslist to help out. And quickly, we needed to get into a larger building. And then we outgrew that building in 3 months, need to get another building, break the lease on the first building, had to do that again from the second building to the third building. Those first 3 or 4 years in the CBD space, there's a lot of money to be made. And it never felt like it was going to end. So we ended up buying a building. And then COVID came and the market kind of crashed. Everyone got involved. And, it's been a struggle since about 2020 till now. The past 18 months, we found a way to really, cut costs. We went from, me as a single employee to our height. We were at 45 employees. Now we're back down to about 15 employees, which I appreciate. 15 employees is a much easier company to manage than 45. Things are looking good. We're profitable. The only problem is we just don't know what's going to happen in November.
Yeah. No. Okay. Cool. No, it's good to hear that background in the story. So, in regards to over your 10 years of history, you've already alluded to some of the challenges you've had, but just from like a business growth perspective, could you give me just like a specific example of like a challenge you encountered over the last 10 years, and then how did you overcome it?
The regulations changing, it started off as a state regulated thing. And then the FDA sort of got involved and said, we want you to adhere to FDA policies, but we don't want to make a decision. So, when the FDA does come in here, let's say straight to my face, this isn't allowed, right? Yes. Yeah. But are you going to keep doing it? Yes. And that's what they put in their notes. So it's like they're telling us, like, we can shut you down at any moment and take everything you've worked hard for and all the money you've invested. But as of today, I think we're going to let it slide. So, we're trying our hardest to, stay GMP certified, USDA organic, kosher, Leaping Bunny. We figure the more rules we're following, the better chance that we have is being like, a good player and maybe even a long-term company.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like the hardest challenge. The hardest challenge is probably just managing people. Managing people is hard, especially through 2020 when people didn't want to come to work. And, the option is, what do we do? Close the doors? We're a manufacturing company. This can't be ran from at home. We need employees in office.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally understand. And it's actually interesting to hear your challenges in the US in regards to CBD industry is similar to what we've encountered in the UK. I actually previously had a CBD business as well in the UK. And we had challenges with the FSA over here, Food Standards Agency. Just the same idea, we're delaying making decisions. They would make decisions and then they would approve like certain products, and then there would be this holding list, and it was just a whole, like, it's still going on now. It's still going on. And we had that business from 2020. We started it basically as COVID hit through to 2025. And it was regulation was a big thing for us as well. It was just such a difficult thing to navigate. It meant that you couldn't take new products onto the market. So we would have business wanting to grow and innovate and take out new things, but you just couldn't take new products onto the market because of this crazy FSA ruling. So yeah, I think it's just it seems to be a global thing that regulation around this types of products needs.
I'd love to build a plan out 3 to 5 years or even 2 years, but I have to plan 6 months at a time, and it's hard to make business decisions like that.
Yeah. So in regards to some critical business decisions that you just mentioned there, aside from obviously these challenges that you're encountering, in 6 months and things, how are you making some critical decisions about the business, whether that is to do with inventory, cash flow, customer retention, like any decisions you need to make on a daily basis? How are you doing those? Are you utilizing any type of AI tool to help in those decision making?
No, today we're not. We try to use AI as much as we can, but what you just mentioned, we are not using AI for any of those decisions.
Yeah, no problem. So how are you utilizing AI at present then?
Today we're using it to help out with mainly our website, our customer service, all of our copy on our website, all of our blog writing. We used to have to pay people to help write blogs and create images. AI has been really helpful in making nice ads for us, refining our images, and all the wording and a lot of the coding on the website as well. And some of the manufacturing piece, I have to make all these recipes. AI has been a big help in keeping me FDA compliant.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And is it things like chatbot, like Claude and ChatGPT?
Exactly. Yep. I'd say 90% of the AI we use is all Claude, ChatGPT. A little bit of AI is structured in our HubSpot or our CRM.
Yeah.
It helps with customer service. It's like a chatbot.
Yeah, cool. Nice one. Yeah, cool. That's really interesting. And in regards to, you as a business leader, so you personally as a business leader, are you using any of these AI tools aside from, website and marketing and things like that?
I mean, yeah, same thing. Just ChatGPT helping me make MMRs, helping me, write emails. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Nice one. No, it's good. It's good to know where you're at.
I definitely feel like there's some opportunity I'm missing out on. I just haven't figured out what that is yet.
What that is, yeah. Well, I mean, as I just explained, I also have, I had that CBD brand, but I've got a different e-commerce business as well. And what I found with AI more recently is that it's allowed me to become a better business leader because I understand my business a lot better than in the past. And that's purely because, we do have so much data out there about our business, especially as like an e-commerce business. You've got dashboards and reports and all these things, all over the place in your different platforms that you use. And sometimes they're not in a way there can be like too much information, too much data. And it's like
Right.
where do you start? Which is probably what you're feeling about AI, and it's everywhere right now. So where can you deploy it? And I think it's using AI in a way to help understand this data a lot better, which then in turn helps you use these tools to analyze where there is like growth opportunities, for example, where there's potential leakages in certain areas of your business. So yeah, there's definitely an opportunity for you to use some of these tools to help you run your business, but ultimately you need to be in a place where you're ready to get involved and use it. And the way what we call Luca here is like an AI co-founder, you know, a co-founder that doesn't sleep, doesn't need fed, doesn't moan, doesn't complain,
Yeah.
that is available to you 24/7 to help you run your business. And that's the way of treating it. Is it's not using AI for AI's sake, it's using AI to help you build a better business is how we look
Okay.
at it. So yeah, that's definitely where we come to it. So in regards to like, you've obviously built a business and it's successful. It's certainly, I'm sure you've got you've clearly said you've got your challenges. Um, where do you feel like there is still some growth opportunities for you as a business?
Getting into bigger stores,
Okay.
distribution, that's something I did
Hmm.
not know about in the early days. We were focused on just selling our products, making a high quality product. And for some reason, my ignorant mind thought that one day stores would reach out to me. And then,
Yeah.
about when it was too late around 2021, I was like, oh, I just need to find a distributor to get me into these stores. And by
Yeah.
then, the market was flooded and like, oh, we're not accepting new CBD brands at this time. So
Yeah.
it's a little sad, you don't know what you don't know. And that was my downfall. So I'm hoping with these new functional mushrooms, I've got some contacts at, I'm not even looking for huge stores. I'm looking more like natural grocers, Sprouts, maybe Whole Foods, a pretty large
Yeah.
store. If we could get our foot in the door, I think our products would do well on their shelves. And I think it would be a huge growth opportunity for us. But that is something I've not been able to achieve so far.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And in regards to, you've obviously you have scaled an e-commerce business. What advice would you give some other, if somebody was starting out right now in your same situation, maybe let's forget the CBD part of it for a second because
Mhm.
you've clearly struggled. So what advice would you give them to help them scale a successful e-commerce store?
Social media, that's where we got most of our early days. You have to, yeah, we're not as active on social media as we used to be, but there's a point where that's where I live. That's where all of our sales
Yeah,
are generated. That's what made me want to start an e-commerce site. People were asking to buy it. I was selling it to them, essentially just send me money and I'll send you a product kind of thing. So I think
yeah,
social media is huge. And then advertising, and your
yeah,
website's got to rank well. It's got, I
yeah,
think the AI, that's what, instead of having to pay someone to come in and write your blogs for you, it's easy today with AI to write
yeah,
5, 6, 10 blogs a day if you wanted to.
yeah,
um,
yeah.
it's
Cool.
got to be a
And
resource for people. They want to come there, they're searching for stuff online, they find your website and then they buy from you. So that's where social media and blogs are big parts, and a PR
yeah,
company helps a lot too.
yeah, yeah, cool, nice one. And I know again this question is probably difficult for you to answer if you've already alluded to it. But in an ideal world, if you are looking, 3 years down the line, which I know right now does feel like a challenge, but you know, all being well, post this, law change, however way it goes, like where do you see the business in 3 years time?
I'd like to figure out, some sort of merge or acquisition opportunity, whether
Okay.
whether I'm acquiring some smaller businesses or a larger business wants to acquire me, I think would
Yeah.
be ideal. I'm not sure that we just keep doing what we're doing unless we score some big distributor. I'm not sure our growth is going to, soar to the moon. We're doing about
Yeah.
5 million a year right now, which is nice, and it'll
Okay.
grow at 10% a year, 5% a year. But if we want that next big step, I think acquisitions, merger, or large scale distribution is what it's going to take.
Yeah. Cool. Nice one. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, very interesting conversation with you, Craig, and I appreciate your time. Before we wrap up, where's the best place for our listeners to find you, like, and follow along on the journey?
Yeah, extractlabs.com, or you can look for Extract Labs on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, or the three social medias we use the most.
Cool. And are you personally on LinkedIn or anything like that?
I am. Yeah, if you want to find me
Cool.
on LinkedIn, just Craig Henderson, CEO of Extract Labs.
Yeah, nice one. Cool. Well, we'll obviously put all those in the show notes. And yes, thanks very much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast, Craig. I appreciate your time.
Yes, I appreciate it too. Thank you, Bryan.